1, 2, 3, go! Oh, stand it.
There's something special about a Garran taking a stag off the hill. For centuries, crofters used the Highland pony to work their fields in the summer and then sent them to extract deer off the hill during the season. Ruaridh Ormiston's family have a long history with them, which he'll be explaining at this year's Royal Highland Show.
A lot of this is stuff that I use to demonstrate the traditional uses of Highland ponies. Most people think of them as carrying deer off the hill from the Victorian sporting era. This is what we call a Glenstrath Farrer deer saddle, which is for the bigger mainland breeds. There's a smaller deer saddle called the Glencuach, which was for the smaller West Highland ones. This is a combination deer saddle, which is shaped like a riding saddle, so the guests could ride out the hill on it, especially if they're getting older or infirm, and you could take the deer back. This is a kind of pack saddle that's used for carrying this panniers, which was for grouse. That's a more modern set of panniers with a waterproof top, and they go on to any of the deer saddles.
How old are these saddles?
They're probably, these ones here are all at least 100 years old. The army ones will be First World War or before. You know, going back 300-500 years ago, there was herds of ponies used to run in the hills because they survived at higher altitudes much better than the sheep and the cattle did. So there was sort of wild herds, but the Highland ponies that we have were the working animal of the Highlands, you know, in the farms, the crofts, the shooting estates, and before that, you know, for drovers and people like that, they were beasts of burden, but you could also ride them. As my grandfather always said, they were a man's horse. They weren't really a pony. We still call them horses in our family, and they were big enough to carry a man.
Rory's family is responsible for helping to keep the breed alive. After the war, his father started trekking with them. Mechanisation had made them redundant on the land.
By the end of the Second World War, they were being replaced by tractors and everything else and other modes of transportation, and it was really pony trekking that saved the Highland pony.
So this is something your family have been involved with for a long time?
Well, at least 150 years in this area, and before that our family were along in Kintail. My great-great-grandfather was a commercial salmon fisherman, but he used ponies to take salmon home to be cured or to go on boats to go to the cities.
You're obviously very passionate about them.
I don't have any choice. Someone's got to keep the tradition going, and I suppose we're the family with the longest connection, any one family with the longest connection to Highland ponies. And as I say, the ones we have today can be traced back to 2 mares that were bought from Lochaber, the Fort William area, from John Cameron of Corrahoyley, the most famous cattle drover there ever was. You know, that's almost 190 years ago now, and we can trace our ones back that long. So it's quite a responsibility to try and keep the heritage going and keep the bloodlines and the ponies going. And yeah, they just feel like they're part of the family. They're just a fantastic animal. They live outside all year round. They don't need to have rugs on. They don't need any fancy feeding. They live off really poor forage. Yeah, they're just a fantastic animal, and if you don't push them on too much when they're young, they'll work till they're 20, 22, no bother at all. And we've had ones still working at 26, so they last a lot longer than a modern machine does.
If you'd like to ride a Highland pony, go to highlandhorsefun.com and you can see Ruaridh and his ponies in the arena of the 2024 Royal Highland Show.